Hello. Oh, I forgot to do Hello, my name is Vesper Fortune. Bad Fortune. What's your fate? Here to help you, changers. I hope everyone's doing alright tonight. Welcome in. I'm doing quite fine. Today is my younger niece's birthday. She is old enough for me to be turning to dust as we speak. So the kitchen is full of sugary goodness for her, and I've had a slice of key lime pie, and there is like a truffle bomb cake in the fridge. There's a truffle bomb cake in the fridge. I don't even know what that is, but it looks delicious. However, I have been very good on my diet. I've been making very small I've been shrinking portion sizes in smalling. What the fuck is happening to me? A little tired, annoying how my body's apparently just old enough to not bounce back from stuff as rarely. See limit I left in the years later. Otherwise good. Someone called a bomb squad because we got a truffle bomb in the fridge. Yeah, that's a mood tab because I'm currently... I was very tempted to not stream all because of a crick in my neck. Now that's just, you know, streamer luck and not being able to pop your neck. Unlike my mole, which can apparently snap its neck in every single degree possible. Yeah, I really wish I could snap my neck, but I can't. I like, once again, I'm afraid the release of tension from snapping my neck would cause like one of those anime whiteouts and like cause like an all explosion crater in like a 5-mile radius. Because that's just a release of tension that's been there for years. That would be a release of tension that's been there for years. So all I need to do is get to a masseuse. The butterfly effect would trigger a hurricane. Greetings, salutations, and furthermore, broken bat necks. Those of you want to know if I'm done with my weekend of maximum suckage, not quite yet. Those of you want to know how to interrogate a shady governor, make him spill the tea. Everyone else, hi, hello, RX. I'm sorry that the weekend of maximum suckage has not yet finished. Are you still at work? I mean, boss makes $1, you make a dime, that's why you watch Vesper Fortune on company time. Boss makes $1, you make a dime, that's why you watch Vesper Fortune on company time. Speaking of personally getting a lot of attention popped out my mic, that would be loud but feel amazing afterward, right? Also, thank you for telling me the story about the literal spilled tea. You work to financially support Vesper. Thank you, by the way. I have to do taxes. I have tomorrow, then then get Tuesday off. Oh, man. No. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, my guy. If it makes you happier, I am building an absolutely, I don't want to say toxic bat deck, but the way it works is that using life gain, I get to damage other people. My life gain causes everyone a little bit of death gain. My life gain causes everyone a little bit of life loss. That's how most other vampires work, and the thing is that most bats have lifelink of some kind, and it's like, this is delicious, this is toxic, I can't wait to play it. I'm going to be going into I'm going to have to go J. Jonah St. Jameson on you. I would like to see how I do in a four-way commander ball. So like I'm very excited for when do we have it for? I think we have it for the 24th. Let me look. I didn't pin that. I didn't pin that. When is the day? 17th. Okay, so that will be next Saturday. Okay. Saturday, I think. I don't know. I'm just winging it. I am tired now to where I get thoughts, but then in time it takes me to set down my knitting needles to move my hands to the keyboard. I lose a thought. Oh, man. Yeah, it is next Saturday. Which is very good, because I'm having a lot of plans pile up right now. I actually have 2 days of D&D in a row, because, I have Trial of Hearts, and then I have my one-shot with Obsidia, where I play my, sorcerer with a shotgun. My sorcerer with a shotty. Which is gonna be very fun. He is a draconic guy. I think he's gonna be white scale, because he has white hair, and I want white hair, white scales, and red eyes, maybe. And he might also be pale as fuck. I'm not sure. I have a very certain aesthetic that I have been very acclimated to over many, many years, and I'm only really now getting out of it. I am home and barely unpacked, so I'm just gonna lay down here. Don't worry, there's plenty of lay down room. I'll go get the pillows myself. I don't have a mod getting the pillows. It's just me here. Silver is off leveling, I think, or doing raids or stuff. Also, I am late because I was watching Ace Windfall. I found Ace Windfall's finally live, and I was like, wait, I better catch this stream. I want to see what Brakos is into, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see why. Let me actually get out those shoutouts. Ace Windfall Fighting Pilot, and I'm gonna say this: I have bought a book because I'm into That's not how I spell tapper. There we go. So like, I will fully admit I bought like a long book. I forgot what it's called. Rowan of the Winds, maybe. I feel like the main character is named Rowan. Anyways, it had like this fighter pilot on the front end. I've had like my fighter just general pilot phase. I have. As a person into horror, it also means I'm very much interested in mysteries. So, like, I've always been interested in mysteries of the world. So, like, horror, mysteries, Amelia Earhart, kind of at the center of both, you know? So, it's like, I still have my what happened to Amelia Earhart type of brain cell stuck in there. Unfortunately, I think we can all agree Amelia Earhart was eaten by the coconut crabs. Ragdolls into existence. Hi, hello, Galaxy Prime. Thank you. I actually need to... My tea is behind me on my TV stand. Let me grab it. Zoom. Bat. Bat shrink. Bat enhance. Let me stretch. But yeah, I've always been interested in the mysteries of Amelia Earhart. The Bermuda Triangle. Bermuda Triangle has always been horror adjacent. And it's like I've always had an interest in pilots. So like Ace Windfall is kind of scratching an old itch of my brain. Not to mention, I don't think there's any... There was a board game from the 70s we called the Bermuda Triangle. Ooh. I suppose it was about the Bermuda Triangle, but not in the way I'm thinking. Oh wait, I just came up with another game idea. Oh god, I hate myself. Okay, but game idea. Game where you play as the Bermuda Triangle. Also, Galaxy, how are you doing? What are you doing? I know you normally work, and that's fine. But if you want to tell me what you're up to, that's awesome as well. Also, thank you for always taking care of me. I am dehydrated. I'm dehydrated and also not a very stretchy boy, so thank you. Reminds me of being in school and being scared of the Bermuda Triangle. You sink cargo ships to deliver cargo through cursed waters. There was a storm with magnets under it, which sometimes made your ships disappear. Ooh. Ooh. Vespa overheard the phrase, gay witch dang sim at Magfest and thought you teleported there for a moment. I'm always there with you. I'm everywhere. I'm omniscient. If the stars are there, so am I. If the stars are there, so am I. And I mean both actual stars in the sky, but also wherever Lady Gaga goes, that's where I am. You don't think she keeps bats in her purse, but she does. But I probably know what dating sim that is. There is quite a gay witch dating sim. Doesn't really narrow it down, but there's quite a few on itch. There's quite a few of those on itch. I've been meaning to play one. It's like gay dating. It's like gay witch dating sim. Which one? Which witch, shall we say? And it's very funny you bring that up. I was actually listening to I Put a Spell on You from Halloween Town earlier. And the main thing I need to contemplate on adding to my Vesper deck is witches. To fulfill the Witch of the Witch of Fate part. Which witch shall we kiss in a gay way? And I was actually watching a video on the Ultimecia is Renoa theory earlier, but I had to stop it because I had AI in it. I'm like, you have such a good presentation. Why do you have AI in this? I would suggest Sedgemoor Witch. It's a personal fave. Ooh. What was the itch game I wanted to actually play? I have it in my... I think I have it downloaded already. If I don't, then I know I have it in my collections. Saving for VTubing. We're gonna have to have another indie night soon. I'm not getting through this backlog. This backlog continues to exist. This backlog is ready to topple over and stab me. This backlog is looking like the cat towers I used to make back in my factory job. Ah, yes. The gay witch dating sim I want to play is Saint Spell's Love Guide to Magical Students Spellbook. Saint Spell's Love Guide to Magical Students Spellbook. Try saying that 5 times fast. Which has gay witches, but also not gay witches, I think. How many characters are there today? It doesn't tell me. Oh, 29 students. 29 students. I took the Bermuda Triangle for a minute. I come up with a character once that lives in the Bermuda Triangle. She was a bird person based on the Bermuda Petrel, and her name was that bird's other name. I had to try to pronounce it. I am not consistent in pronouncing it. The hell? But yeah, Gay Witch Dating Sim seems to be a favorite. And I love myself some Bermuda Triangle. Listen, you can get me on with any mystery as long as it sounds interesting enough. Like a lot of my interests intersect. It's like, oh, there's portals to hell? That sounds awesome. Show me. Where is the portals to hell? Like, literally, if there's a portal to hell, I want to be shown it. I remember when Discovery Channel was good and they had, like, stuff like that. It's like, oh, hey, we have this, like, hour-long special on the multiple portals to hell. Are you gonna watch it? Yes. It's called also true. The mysteries are, it's kind of like how horror fans like Undertale. It's like there's plenty of games that aren't horror but they're horror adjacent, and that's kind of how that's how like my interests also lie. It's like, oh, mysteries, portal to hell, demons. The portal just goes to Florida. At this point, it's all of America. It's all of America. It's all of America. No, just Florida. Well, most of America. There's some good points. There's still some good points. There are demons crawling out of the pits of hell. And they're like, and they see that the pits are in America, and then they crawl back into hell, being like, nope, not dealing with this shit. Not dealing with this shit. We can't get these people out of here. Instructions unclear. Open portal to Brazil. oh, speaking of which, I'm so slow with shout out, but I'm just having casual night. That kind of feels bad. like I'm associating Ryuga with hell and Brazil. Mods, send this man to Brazil. Every time I see Brazil, I'm reminded of the old Lady Gaga meme. Lady Gaga, listen to my CD. Oh, and here's a classic Gaga meme for anyone who remembers it. Your God's not here, Michael. If there are still cute animals in the world, then there are still good pockets. I went to Mount Rushmore once, bored, until the last stop on the rails, and I saw a bunch of chipmunks playing just off the path. Aww. Take it to Detroit, and the guy's like, no, please. But that. Hell's too good for you. We're taking you to Detroit. Hell's too good for you. We're taking you to Detroit. That reminds me, I need to watch Giggle's, Detroit Become Human playthrough. I haven't really finished any of the Detroit Become Human playthroughs because there's a very obvious point where you're just like, ah, this is a racial allegory. Not a very subtle one. And then it becomes very, very face-palmy from then on. Because you're just like, ooh, this could be delivered better. But I should really get over that, because, you know, some people just can't just have their first time writing something like that. And it doesn't come off well sometimes. But I do kind of like myself those... Oh.
Bring me the axe!
I caught that. It's a Sells a Hammer or an SMT game. I was like, wait, this is happening. Is my desktop audio unmuted? I really need to put, my Mix It Up media in its own audio source. It's a Sells a Hammer or an SMT game. By the way, I checked when I last played Persona 4. I thought it was October or November. Y'all know when it was? Oh, wait. My bitch ass last played Persona 4 in July. It has been 6 months. I have been avoiding Persona 4. Oh, man. I am entirely surprised. But yeah, it was last July when we played. I was like, wait, when was we last played? That's not even avoiding anymore, that's abandonment. True. I have abandoned my playthrough of Little Gray Two Shoes, but mostly because I made a mistake. And I'm like, I don't want to experience the bad anymore, chat. But I'm also just like, Little Gray Two Shoes was a game for I should have played off stream. That was a gift for me and me alone. So like, I'll fully admit I abandoned that game, but only mostly because I'm fully admitting that that should have been just a me game that I played for myself. Which is like why I'm not like immediately settled on whether or not to play Look Outside on stream or not. I gotta keep some things to myself, guys. I gotta keep things to me. Nice seeing that game though, yeah. Maybe I'll get back to it one day. Like I'll leave stuff up as like, hey, you should play this. Like my main job. Well, I think one of my main jobs as a streamer. I'm actually going to get reading here soon. Let me actually grab my assets. I think one of my main jobs as a streamer is to get other people to play games. Which I have been doing very nicely, I may add, I think. One of my main things as a streamer is I hope people play the games that I play. And I've done that. I've done that multiple times. So, I think I'm doing pretty well. Wait, I need to put my Dracula book into my assets. Although I want to draw my own cover of Dracula and have that be like mine. Mine. Oh my god, I'm just turning this off. I keep looking at Scrappy's feet on my pillow and thinking, I'm creating another monster. I made big plush babies before, but the last one that even remotely rivals us seems like it was years ago. I think you summoned something. I always do. But speaking of which, for those of you who want to see, why I was distracted and why I started stream late. Well, not late. It's my stream. I can say when it's on time, and I started stream on time, in my personal opinion. I was watching, again, Ace Windfall play one of my fave series, which is the Zero Escape series. If you haven't played that, please at least played 999. At least played 999. 999 is my favorite ever. 999 has changed my brain cells, made me obsessed with the Titanic and like everything around it. So please go follow Ace Windfall, who I watched someone else play 9. I lost it. There goes the hinges on the door. Play. Okay, we're on chapter 9. So unhinged, our vest becomes an archway instead of a door. I think okay, Santa husbando. Santa is husbando. Lotus is queen. Also really like how Clover and June are kind of portrayed against each other. Like how, Clover is kind of put as the secondary option to June, but June is like obviously the first. But they're kind of like, I don't want to say they're portraying Clover as the second love interest, but they're portraying Clover as like this secondary option, and like it's very funny now that, if I remember correctly, most of Junpei's secondary routes are around Clover, if I remember correctly, but it's been a while. Maybe I should play the game on stream and introduce it to everyone. Ace does a lot of storytelling games and visual novels, but there's a mix of other stuff too. Nice. I want to get back to Shibuya Scramble at some point. I did not abandon that game because I wanted to abandon it. I abandoned that game because I don't want to immediately jump on a visual novel while we're still playing Persona 4. And I want to keep the story-heavy games to like 1 a week minimum. So like that's why I haven't jumped into another visual novel or RPG yet. Well, not another like heavy RPG. I've done way shorter RPGs. And I wouldn't have any problems doing those. We're on 9. More of Mina Moray's journal. But you'll probably catch me over there at Ace's channel if he does a lot of visual novels, Breakles. I don't know why I said that with an accent. Breakles. I'm just gonna do this to cover me. So I can still see chat and I can still see all my other stuff going on. Now, YouTube, what do you have for me? My VODs aren't being taken down from music yet, so I'm going to assume the Dracula's Castle music is good. Okay, we have Dracula's Abbey, Dracula's Castle, Dracula's Tower, Dracula's Undead Room. Oh, a special room for being undead. Oh man, there was an entire playlist for the Demeter? Okay. Jonathan Harker's room? Okay, bitch. You're too much. Okay, we'll take Dining with Dracula. Oh, my other music's still going on. Hold on. Dracula's Rumpus Room, Dracula's Breakfast Nook, Dracula's Solarium. He doesn't use it that much. Oh, hold on, wait. Dracula's... What's... Lunararium. Lunararium. It's a lunararium. I like a lunararium. That's... A lunarium... A solarium is just a lunarium. For night owls. Okay, this needs to go down further. This is like right up in my ears. Wait, are they still... Look. Okay. Hello, I lost my OBS and then I lost my... Well, I still just reflected sunlight, so I can still call it solarium if it's used at night. Dracula's Resort, Casino, and Spa. What? Okay, I know I was supposed to get reading like way early, like 10 minutes ago, but I made a tweet earlier about how I'm tired of like public domain slop, and the main reason why I made that is because I saw an ad on television, because like we have antenna and we have like internet TV and stuff. But I saw an ad for a Popeye phone game. And it was just fucking Bejeweled or Bedazzled or whatever it's called. It's just Popeye skin bedazzled. And I'm like, did this really need to happen? Is all the 4,400 other versions of Bejeweled and Bedazzled not enough? And I'm not sure what makes which is worse, public domain horror or public domain little old lady phone games. You cannot convince me that all the interesting female creators on YouTube are sitting down and playing 5 minutes of Bedazzled. You can't. There's no way that all these people are playing June's Journey. But I can't imagine any of these people playing Popeye Bedazzled either. And that's been my rant for today. Dracula's disco. Okay, let me take a sippy. To summarize what happened, Lucy got bit. Lucy's turning into a vampire. I think we all know that. She got bit after the Demeter came into shore. And we learn that Jonathan, by some miracle, is alive. And that Renfield wants to be a slave to Dracula. So, yeah, I think that's everything. I could have worded that better, but, yeah, I think that's good. Oh, and Dr. Seward is stupid. Dr. Seward be messing with forces he can't understand, but, that's how all morally neutral doctors are in these, well, no, he's not morally neutral. He runs a lunatic asylum. In Lucy's words, he runs a lunatic asylum. No, you worded it perfectly. But now we are in chapter 9 on a letter Mina Harker to Lucy Westerna. Budapest, 24th of August. My dearest Lucy, I know you'll be anxious to hear all that has happened once we part at the railway at Whitby. Well, my dear, I got to Hull all night and caught the boat to Hamburg, and then on the train here. I feel like I can hardly recall anything of the journey, except I knew I was coming to Jonathan, and as I should have to do some nursing, I better get all the sleep I could. I found my dear one, oh so thin and pale and weak looking. All the resolution gone out of his dear eyes, and that quiet dignity which I told you was in his face vanished. He is only a wreck of himself. He does not remember anything that has happened to him for a long time past. At least, he wants me to believe so, and I shall never ask. He has had some terrible shock. I fear it might tax his poor brain if he were to try to recall it. Sister Agatha, who is a good creature and a born nurse, tells me that he raved of dreadful things while he was off his head. I wanted her to tell me what they were, but she would only cross herself and say she would never tell. The ravings of the sick were the secrets of God, that if a nurse through her vocation should hear them, she should respect her trust. She's a sweet, good soul, and the next day, when she saw his trouble, she opened up the subject again, just saying she could never mention what my poor dear raved about. She added, I can tell you this much, my dear. That was nothing about anything which he has done wrong himself, and you, as his wife, have no cause to be concerned. He has not forgotten you or what he owes to you. His fear was of great and terrible things, which no mortal can treat of. Do believe the dear soul thought I might be jealous lest my poor dear have fallen in love with any other girl. The idea of my being jealous about Jonathan. Yet, my dear, let me whisper, I felt a thrill of joy through me, and I knew that no other woman was a cause of trouble. I am now sitting by his bedside, and I can see his face while he sleeps. He is waking. Mina's like, I know he wasn't with any other girls, but it's nice to know he wasn't with any other girls. Lucy, I can't be like you. I can't be sharing things. Lucy, I can't be like you. I can't be sharing things. Though Lucy wants to be shared. I'm not sure if Lucy's up for sharing. When he woke, he asked me for his coat, as he wanted something from the pocket. He asked Sister Agatha, and she brought all his things. I saw amongst them was his notebook. I was going to ask him to let me look at it, for I knew then that I might find some clue to his trouble. I suppose he must have seen my wish in my eyes, for he sent me over to the window, saying he wanted to be quite alone for a moment. Then he called me back. When I came, he had his hand over the notebook and said to me very solemnly, "So, look, sometimes you want the tea, and I'm happy to oblige." "Wilhelmina, I knew then that he was in deadly earnest, but he has never called me by that name since he asked me to marry him." Huh? "Hello, Silver, how are you? How was your reading?" Everyone, please follow our dear and lovely mod and amazing artist, Silver. My reading was really cool. Oliver did a good job. Nice. I realized you probably didn't know I knew it was a reading, but Oliver told me because I was bothering him. I thought you guys were in like I thought you guys were like doing Panda or like maybe Evilise or something. "Wilhelmina, I knew then that he was in deadly earnest. He has never called me by that name since he asked me to marry him. You know, my dear, my ideas of trust between husband and wife. There should be no secret, no concealment. I have had quite a great shock. When I try to think of what it is, I feel my head spin around. I don't know if it all was real or the dreaming of a madman. You know, I have had brain fever. That is to be mad. The secret is here, and I do not want to know it. I want to take up my life here with our marriage. For my dear, we decided to be married soon as the formalities are complete. Are you willing, my Wilhelmina, to share my ignorance? Here is the book. Take it and keep it. Read it if you will, but never let me know, unless indeed some solemn duty should come upon me to go back to the bitter hours, asleep or awake, sane or mad, recorded here." He fell back exhausted, and put the book under his pillow and kissed him. I have asked Sister Agatha to beg the Superior to let our wedding be this afternoon. I'm awaiting her reply. Mina is like, I need to marry this man now, just in case he dies. Good on you, girl. Mood. I mean, she probably really loves Jonathan. I'm just saying. I would wait till he was better. The only reason why to marry an ill man is to either fulfill his dying wish or to become part of his will. Anyways. But also, I like how Mina is taking control. She's like, no. We're marrying today. Very forward. Very forward thinking. She has come and told me that the chaplain of the English Mission Church has been sent for. We are to be married in an hour, or as soon as Jonathan awaits. Lucy, time has come and gone. I feel very solemn, but very, very happy. Jonathan woke a little after the hour, and all was ready, and he sat up in bed, propped up with pillows. He answered his "I will" firmly and strongly. I could hardly speak. My heart was so full that even those words seemed to choke me. The dear sisters were so kind. Please God, I shall never, never forget them, nor the grave and sweet responsibilities I have taken upon me. I must tell you of my wedding present. The chaplain and the sisters have left me alone with my husband. Oh, Lucy, is the first time I've written the words "my husband." Left me alone with my husband. I took the book from under his pillow, wrapped it up in white paper, tied it with a little bit of pale blue ribbon, which was around my neck, and sealed it over and sealed over the knot with sealing wax. And for my seal, I used my wedding ring. Then I kissed it and showed it to my husband, told him I would keep it so. And then it would be an outward invisible sign for us for all our lives that we trusted each other. That I would never open it unless it was for his own dear sake or for the sake of some stern duty. Then he took my hand in his, and oh, Lucy, it was the first time he took his wife's hand and said that it was the dearest thing in all the wide world. He'd go through all the past again to win it, if need be. The poor dear meant to have said part of the past. I cannot think of time yet. I shall not wonder if at first he mixes up not only the month but the year. New donation from rich old man. I don't know how you'll get to marry me before I croak, but have this. Urgh, dies. Thank you, dying old witch man, for $5. I give my thanks to the old dying rich man. Also, we all know that this book's going to get unwrapped later, right? This book's gonna get unwrapped later, right? This is foreshadowing. Well, my dear, what can I say? I can only tell him that I was the happiest woman in all the wide world. I had nothing to give him except myself, my life, and my trust. And that with these went my love and duty for all the days of my life. And my dear, when he kissed me and drew me to him with his poor weak hands, it's like a very solemn pledge between us. Lucy, my dear, do you know why I tell you all this? It's not only because it's all sweet to me, because you have been and are very dear to me. It's my privilege to be your friend and guide when you came from the schoolroom to prepare for the world of life. I want to see you now with the eyes of a very happy wife, where their duty has led me, so that in your own married life, you too may be all happy as I am. My dear, please, Almighty God, your life may be all promises. A long day of sunshine with no wind, no forgetting duty, no distrust. I must not wish you no pain, for that can never be. I hope you will always be as happy as I am now. Goodbye, my dear. I shall post this at once, and perhaps write you very soon again. I must stop, for Jonathan is waking. I must attend to my husband. Your ever-loving Mina Harker. So blunt, it might as well be 5 shadowing. Letter, Lucy Westerna to Mina Harker, Whitby, 30th of August. My dearest Mina, oceans of love and millions of kisses, and may you soon be in your own home with your husband. I wish you the coming home soon enough to stay with us here. Oh, hold on. Sorry, these sentences mix me up, and so does my dyslexia. I wish you could be coming home soon enough to stay with us here. The strong air would soon restore Jonathan, as quite restored me. I have an appetite like a cormorant. I'm full of life, and sleep well. Really glad to know I have quite given up on walking in my sleep. I think I have not stirred out of my bed for a week, as when I once got into it at night. Arthur says I'm getting fat. By the way, I forgot to tell you that Arthur is here. We have such walks and drives and rides and rowings and tennis and fishing together. And I love him more than ever. He tells me that he loves me more. I doubt that. But at first, he told me that he couldn't love me more than he did then. But this is nonsense. There he is, calling to me. So no more just at present from your loving Lucy. Yes, Mother sends her Since the love, she seems better, poor dear. P.P.S. You're soon to be married on the 28th of September. Ah, goddamn, it's Dr. Seward. God damn it, Dr. Seward's Dr. Sewarding. Dr. Seward's diary. 20th of August. The case of Renfield grows even more interesting. He now has so far quieted that there are spells of cessation from his passion. For the first week after his attack, he was perpetually violent. Then one night, just as soon as the moon rose, he grew quiet, kept murmuring himself. Now I can wait, now I can wait. The attendant came to tell me, so I ran down at once to have a look at him. He was still in that straight waistcoat and in the padded room. The suffused look had gone from his face, and his eyes had something of their old pleading. I might almost say cringing softness. I was satisfied with his present condition, directed him to be relieved. The attendants hesitated, but finally carried out my wishes without protest. It was a strange thing that the patient had humor enough to see their distrust. Before coming close to me, he said in a whisper, all while looking furtively at them, "I think I could hurt you. Fancy me hurting you, Bulls." It was soothing somehow to the feelings to find myself dissociated, even in the mind of this poor madman from the others. All the same, I do not follow his thought. Am I to take it that I have anything in common with him, so that we are, as it were, to stand together? Or has he to gain from me some good stupendous, that my well-being is needful to him? I must find out later on. Tonight he will not speak. Even the offer of a kitten or even a full-grown cat will not tempt him. He'll only say, I do not take any stock in cats. I have to think more of now, and I can wait. I can wait. After I left him, the attendant tells me that he was quiet until just before dawn. I then began to get uneasy, and at length violent, until at last he fell into a paroxysm, which exhausted him so that he swooned into a sort of coma. 3 nights has the same thing happened. Violent all day, then quiet from moonrise to sunrise. If I could get some clue to the cause. It seemed as if there was some influence which came and went. Happy thought. We shall tonight play sane wits against mad ones. He escaped before without our help. Tonight he shall escape with it. We shall give him a chance, with the men ready to follow in case they are required. "23rd of August. The unexpected always happens. How well Disraeli knew life. Our bird, when he found the cage open, would not fly, so all our subtle arrangements were for naught. At any rate, we have proved one thing, that the spells of quietness last a reasonable time. We shall in future be able to ease his bonds for a few hours each day. I have given orders to the night attendant merely to shut him in the padded room, and once he is quiet until an hour before sunrise. Poor soul's body will enjoy the relief, even if his mind cannot appreciate it. Hark! The unexpected again. I am called. The patient has once more escaped." Later. Another night's adventure. Renfield artfully waited until the attendant was entering the room to inspect. Then he dashed out past him and flew down the passage. I sent word for the attendants to follow. Again, he went into the grounds of the deserted house. Found him in the same place, pressed against the old chapel door. When he saw me, he became furious. Had not the attendants seized him in time, he would have tried to kill me. As we were holding him, a strange thing happened. He suddenly redoubled his efforts, and then, as suddenly, grew calm. Looked around instinctively, but could see nothing. Then I caught the patient's eye and followed it, but could trace nothing as it looked into the moonlit sky except a big bat, which was flapping silent and ghostly way to the west. Bats usually wheel and flit about. This one seemed to go straight on, as if it knew where it was bound, for, at some intention of its own, the patient grew calmer every instant, and presently said, "You needn't tie me, I shall go quietly. Without trouble, we came back to the house. feel there is something ominous in his calm. Shall not forget this night. I shall take a break there because we have ads in 15 seconds. Ugh. And I need water. Or more tea. One of the two. I might go with water. But I do have plans on staying up after stream. Because I need to do some photo shoots, and I meant to do them. I meant to do them yesterday, but that did not happen. I meant to do them yesterday, but that did not happen. Should I have a little drink of champagne or limoncello tonight? Ooh. I'd ask if you could mix the two, but I'm not an expert on drink mixing. Champagne cello, everyone? Champagne? I don't know how to mix drinks. I just know to put, like... I just know you can put, like, orange Fanta into Sprite, or like any like fruity soda into Sprite. Well, any soda into Sprite, honestly. Or you can like mix Mountain Dew and Coca-Cola. Mix either of them with orange juice tonight. Probably not both of them together. And I'm in agile. Unfortunate. Sorry, Tapper. I'm going to go get my water right now. BRB. I'm back. I'm back. Going to check my messages. Nothing on this. Actually, you know what? Let me refresh because sometimes the notifications don't come in. I got the notifications. It came with the social media. Welcome back. I got the notifications. It came with the creature. I got the certification. It came with the stone. This ice is so cold, it should come on a cone. My quick internet search says I should not drink after taking melatonin, so I guess I will enjoy my drinks another day. Oh yeah, and also thank you for the sexy time, RX. I bet you melatonin is already weird. Melatonin is already weird, so I don't think, melatonin is already weird, so yeah, I bet alcohol would not make that any better. Gada. Just checking things. It says it may cause dizziness, anxiety. I can handle being dizzy, but I'm just saying here, I don't want to be anxious. Yo, I'm just saying here, if you were Marianne... Yeah, there's no health advisories for a Marianne. You're a Marianne. One day I'm going to get someone whose IRL name is Marianne, and they're not going to get all these jokes, and they're going to be like, why are you being so mean to me? This explains everything. And I will direct them to my playthrough of the letter. You need to watch all of this to get our inside jokes. The Surgeon General Luxborn has determined that being Mary Ann is hazardous to your health. Being Luxborn is hazardous to your health. Okay, okay, back to Lucy. Hillingham, 24th of August. I must imitate Mina and keep writing things down. Then we can have long talks when we do not meet. I wonder when it will be. I wish you were here with me again. I feel so unhappy. Last night, I seemed to be dreaming again, just as I was at Whitby. Perhaps it's the change of air, or getting home again. It's all dark and horrid to me, but I can remember nothing. But I'm full of vague fear. I feel so weak and worn out. Arthur came to lunch. He looked quite grieved when he saw me. I had the spirit to try to be cheerful. If I could sleep in Mother's room tonight, I shall make an excuse and try. 25th of August. Another bad night. Mother did not seem to take to my proposal. She seems not too well herself. And doubtless, she fears to worry me. I tried to keep awake and succeeded for a while. When the clock struck 12. It waked me from a doze. I must have been falling asleep. There was a sort of scratching or flapping at the window, but I did not mind it. And as I remembered no more, I suppose I must then have fallen asleep. More bad dreams. I wish I could remember them. This morning I'm horribly weak. My face is ghastly pale. My throat pains me. It must be something wrong with my lungs, for I don't ever seem to get air enough. I shall try to cheer up Arthur when he comes, else I know he'll be miserable to see me so. Letter, Arthur Homeward to Dr. Seward. Albemarle Hotel, the 31st of August. My dear Jack, I want you to do me a favor. Lucy is ill. She has no special disease, but she looks awful. It's getting worse every day. I've asked her if there's any cause. I do not dare ask her mother, for to disturb the poor lady's mind about her daughter in her present state of health would be fatal. Mrs. Western has confided to me that her doom is spoken. Disease of the heart. Though poor Lucy does not know it yet. I'm sure there is something preying on my dear girl's mind. I am almost distracted when I think of her. The look at her gives me a pang. I told her I should ask you to see her, though she did mur it at first. I know why, old fellow. She finally consented. It'll be a painful task for you, I know, old friend, but it is for her sake. And I must not hesitate to ask, or you to act. You're to come to lunch at Hillingham tomorrow, 2 o'clock, so as not to arouse any suspicion in Miss Westerna. Now to lunch, Lucy will take an opportunity of being alone with you. I shall come in for tea, and we can go away together. I am filled with anxiety. I want to consult with you alone as soon as I can after you have seen her. Do not fail. Telegram, Arthur Homeward to Seward. I am summoned to see my father, who is worse. in writing. Write me fully tonight, post to... Write me fully tonight. Write me fully by tonight, post to ring. Wire me if necessary. Letter from Dr. Seward to Arthur Homeward. 2nd of September. My dear old fellow, with regard to Miss Restora's health, I hasten to let you know at once that, in my opinion, there is not any functional disturbance or malady that I know of. At the same time, I am not by any means satisfied with her appearance. She is woefully different from what she was when I saw her last. Of course, you must bear in mind that I did not have full opportunity of examination such as I should wish. Our very friendship makes a little difficulty which not even medical science or custom can bridge over. I better tell you exactly what happened, leaving you to draw, in measure, your own conclusion. I shall then say what I have done and propose doing. Sorry. I found Mrs. Westerner in seemingly gay spirits. Her mother was present, and in a few seconds I made up my mind that she was trying all she knew to mislead her mother, prevent her from being anxious. I have no doubt she guesses, if she does not know, what need of caution there is. We lunched alone, and we all exerted ourselves to be cheerful. We got, as some kind of reward for our labor, some real cheerfulness amongst us. Then Mrs. Westerner went to lie down. Lucy was left with me. We went to her boudoir. Until we got there, her gaiety remained, for the servants were coming and going. As soon as the door closed, however, the mask fell from her face. She sank down into her chair with a great sigh, hid her eyes with her hand. When I saw that her high spirits had failed, I at once took advantage of her reaction to make a diagnosis. She said to me very sweetly, "I cannot tell you how I loathe talking about myself." I reminded her that a doctor's confidence was sacred, that you were grievously anxious about her. She caught on to my meaning at once and settled that matter in a word. "Tell Arthur everything you choose. I do not care for myself, but all for him." So I'm quite free. I could easily see that she is somewhat bloodless, but I cannot see the usual anemic signs. By a chance I was actually able to test the quality of her blood. For in opening a window which a stiff cord gave ray, she cut her hand slightly with broken glass. It was a slight matter in itself, but it gave me an evident chance, and I secured a few drops of blood and have analyzed them. The qualitative analysis gives quite a normal condition, and shows, should I infer, itself in a vigorous state of health. In other physical matters, I am quite satisfied there is no need for anxiety. There must be a cause somewhere. I have come to the conclusion that must be something mental. Complains of difficulty in breathing satisfactorily at times, of heavy lethargic sleep with dreams that frighten her, but regarding which she can remember nothing. She says that as a child she used to walk in her sleep, then at Whitby the habit came back. That once she walked out in the night and went to the East Cliff, where Miss Murray found her, but she assures me that the habit had not returned. I am in doubt, and so have done the best thing I know of. I've written to my old friend and master, Professor Van Helsing of Amsterdam. Knows as much about obscure diseases as anyone in the world. Asked him to come over. As you told me all things were to be at your charge, then mentioned to him who you are and your relations to Miss Westerner. This, my dear fellow, is in obedience to your wishes, but I am only too proud and happy to do anything I can for her. Van Helsing would, I know, do anything for me as a personal reason. Do anything for me for a personal reason. So no matter on what ground he comes, we must accept his wishes. He is a seemingly arbitrary man, but this is because he knows what he's talking about better than anyone else. He's a philosopher and a metaphysician, one of the most advanced scientists of his day, and has, I believe, an absolutely open mind. This, with an iron nerve, a temper of the ice-book, an indomitable resolution, self-command, and toleration, exalted from virtue to blessings, and the kindliest, truest heart that beats. These form his equipment for the noble work he is doing for mankind. work in both theory and practice, for his views are as wide as his all-embracing sympathy. I tell you these facts that you may now know why I have such confidence in him. I have asked him to come at once. I shall see Miss Westerner tomorrow again. She is to meet me at the stores, so that I may not alarm her mother by too early a repetition of my call. Yours are always, John Seward. Now we have Mr. Van Helsing. I didn't know Van Helsing was a doctor. I thought he was just a vampire slayer. I would like to see how this is going to go, because I don't think I've ever actually seen the original Van Helsing. I've watched, Helsing Ultimate. I think that was it. Which has Alucard. And Integra. By the way, Integra, Queen are very masked, but also somehow still feminine Queen. Integra is a whole fucking level of cuntiness that a whole lot of people cannot approach. Oh, you're not ready for how Van Helsing was originally portrayed. Letter. Abraham Van Helsing, MD, D, PhD, Lit, etc., etc. I have too many fucking titles for this, Dr. Seward. Also, is this where the idea for Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter came from? Is that he shared a name with Van Helsing? My good friend, I have received your letter and already am coming. Hold on, wait. Do I have an accent for this? Man, I really need to work on my British accents. My my good friend. I'm trying not to make him sound like Dracula. Hold on. My good friend, when I have received your letter, I'm already coming to you. By good fortune, I can leave just at once, without wrong to any of those who have trusted me. Or fortune other, then it were bad for those who have trusted. For I come to my friend when he called to me to aid those he holds dear. Tell your friend that when the time you sucked from my wound so swiftly the poison of the gangrene from the knife that our other friend, too nervous, let slip, did more for him than he wants my aids. You call for them than all his great fortune could do. Hold on, wait. Tell your friend that time when you sucked from my wound so swiftly the poison of the gangrene from the knife that our other friend, too nervous, let slip. You did more for him when he wants my aids. You call for them than all his great fortune could do. But as pleasure added to do for him, your friend, it is to you that I come. And have then those rooms for me at the Great Eastern Hotel, so I may be near to hand. Please it so arrange that we may see the young lady not too late on tomorrow, for it is likely that I may have to return here that night. But if need be, I shall come again in 3 days, and stay longer if it must. Till then, goodbye, my friend John. Von Helsing. Letter, Dr. Seward to Honorable Author Homeward. 3rd of September. Hold on. big chapters, big chapters. Letter, Dr. Seward to Honorable Author Homeward, 3rd of September. My dear Art, Van Helsing has come and gone. Came with me to Hillingham, and found that by Lucy's discretion her mother was lunching out, so that we were alone with her. Van Helsing made a very careful examination of the patient. He is to report to me, and I shall advise you, for of course I was not present at the time. He is, I fear, much concerned, but he must think. When I told him of our friendship and how you trust me in the matter, he said, "You must tell him all you think. Tell him what I think, if you can guess it, if you will. Nay, I'm not jesting. This is no jest, but life and death, perhaps more." Asked him what he meant by that, for he was very serious. This is when he had come back to town. He was having a cup of tea before starting on his return to Amsterdam. Not give me any further clue. You must not be angry with me, Art, because his very reticence means that all his brains are working for her good. He'll speak plainly enough when the time comes, be sure. So I told him to simply write on an account of our visit, just as if I were doing a descriptive article for the Daily Telegraph. He seemed to not notice, but remarked that the smuts in London were not quite as bad as they used to be when he was a student here. I am to get his report tomorrow if he can possibly make it. In any case, I am to have a letter. Well, as to the visit, Lucy was more cheerful than on the day I first saw her, and certainly looked better. She lost something of the ghastly look that so upset you, and her breathing was normal. She was very sweet to the professor, as she always is, and tried to make him feel at ease. I could see that the poor girl was making a hard struggle for it. I believe Van Helsing saw it too, for I saw the quick look under his bushy brows like that I knew of old. He began to chat of all things except ourselves and diseases with such an infinite geniality that I could see poor Lucy's pretense of animation merge into reality. And without any seeming change, he brought the conversation gently round to his visit and suavely said, "My dear miss, I have so great the pleasure because you are so much beloved. As much, my dear, ever were there that I do, which I do not see. They told me you were down in the spirit, and that you are of a ghastly pale. To them I say poof." And he snapped his fingers and went on. "But you and I shall show how wrong they are. How can he?" And he pointed at me with the same look and gesture as that which once he pointed me out to his class on, or rather after, a particular occasion, which he never fails to remind me of. Know anything of young ladies? He has his madmans to play with, and bring them back to happiness, and those that love him, and much to do, but there are rewards in that which we can bestow such happiness. But the young ladies, he has no wife nor daughter, and the young do not tell themselves to be young, but to the old, like me, who have known so many sorrows and causes of them. So, my dear, you'll send him away to smoke the cigarette in the garden, whilst you and I have a little talk all to ourselves." I took the hint and strolled about, and presently the professor came to the window and called me in. He looked grave, but said, "I have made a careful examination. There is no functional cause. Do you agree that there has been much blood loss? Has been, but is not. The conditions of her are in no way anemic. Ask her to send me her maid, and I may just ask one or two questions, so that I may not chance to miss something. I know well that she will have what she will say. Yet there is cause. There is always cause for everything. Let's go back home and think. You must send me the telegram every day. And if there shall be cause, I come again. The disease, for not all well be is a disease. For not to be all well is a disease. Interests me. And the young dear, she interests me too. She charmed me, and for her, if not for you or disease, I come. As I tell you, he would not say a word more, even when we were alone. And so now, Art, you know all I know. I shall keep stern watch. I trust your poor father is rallying. It must be a terrible thing to you, my dear fellow, to be placed in such a position between two people who are both so dear to you. I know your idea of duty. I know your idea of duty to her father. You are to stick to it. But if need be, I shall send you word to come at once to Lucy. So do not be over anxious unless you hear from me. Okay, let me, okay. Dr. Seward's Diary, September 4th. Zoophage's patient still keeps our interest in him. He had only one outburst, and that was yesterday at an unusual time. Just before the stroke of noon, he began to grow restless. The attendant knew the symptoms and at once summoned aid. Fortunately, the men came at a run, and were just in time, but at the stroke of noon he became so violent that it took all their strength to hold him. In about 5 minutes, however, he began to get more and more quiet, finally sank into a sort of melancholy, in which state he remained up till now. An attendant tells me that his screams, whilst in the paroxysm, were really appalling. I found my hands full when I got in, attending to some of the other patients who were frightened by him. Indeed, I can quite understand the effect, for his sound disturbed even me. Though I was some distance away, it was now after the dinner hour of the asylum, and as yet my patient sits in a corner brooding, with a dull, sullen, woe-begone look in his face, which seems to rather indicate than show something directly. I cannot quite understand it. Later. Another change in my patient. At 5 o'clock I looked in on him and found him seemingly happy and contented as he used to be. He was catching flies and eating them, was keeping note of his capture by making nail marks on the edge of the door between the ridges of padding. He saw me, came over and apologized for his bad conduct, asking in a very humble, cringing way to be led back to his own room, have his notebook again. I thought it well to humor him, so he's back in his room with the window open. He has the sugar of his tea spread out on the windowsill, sweeping quite a harvest of flies. He's not now eating them, but putting them into a box, as of old. While examining the corners of his room to find a spider. I turned to get him to talk about the past few days, for any sort of clue to his thoughts would be of immense help to me. But he would not rise. For a moment or two he looked very sad, and said in a sort of faraway voice, as though he was saying it rather to himself than to me. All over. All over. He has deserted me. No hope for me now unless I do it for myself. And suddenly turning to me in a resolute way, he said, Doctor, won't you be very good to me and have a little more, let me have a little more sugar? I think it would be good for me. And the flies, I said. Yes, the flies like it too. And I like the flies, therefore I like it. And there are people who know so little to think that madmen do not argue. I procured him a double supply, left him as happy a man as, I suppose, any in the world. Wish I could fathom his mind. Midnight. Another change in him. I had been to see Mr. Sterner, whom I found much better. Had just returned, and was standing at our own gate looking at the sunset, when once more I heard him yelling. As his room is on this side of the house, I could hear it better than in the morning. It was a shock to me to turn from the wonderful smoky beauty of a sunset over London, with its lurid lights and inky shadows, and all the marvelous tints that come on foul clouds, even as on foul water, to realize all the grim sternness of my own stone-cold building, with its wealth of breathing misery, my own desolate heart to endure it all. I reached him just as the sun was going down. From his window saw the red disk sink. As it sank, he became less and less frenzied. Hold on, let me repeat that. As it sank, he became less and less frenzied. Just as it dipped, he slid from the hands that held him, an inert mass on the floor. It is wonderful, however, what intellectual recuperative power lunatics have. For within a few minutes, he stood up quite calmly, and looked around him. I signaled to the attendants not to hold him, for I was anxious to see what he would do. He went straight over to a window and brushed out the crumbs of sugar. Then he took his fly box, emptied it outside, and threw away the box. Then he shut the window, and crossing over, sat on the bed. All this surprised me, so I asked him, Are you not going to keep the flies anymore? No, said he. I am sick of all this rubbish. He certainly is an interesting study. I wish I could get some glimpse of his mind, or the cause of his sudden passion. Stop. There may be a clue after all. You can find why today his paroxysm came on at high noon at sunset. Can it be that there is a malign influence of the sun at periods which affect certain natures? As at times does the moon, does others, we shall see. Telegram, Seward, London, to Van Helsing, Amsterdam. 4th of September. Patient still better today. Telegram, Seward, London, to Van Helsing, Amsterdam. Patient, 5th of September. Patient greatly improved. Good appetite, sleeps naturally, good spirits. Fellow coming back. Telegram, Seward, London, to Van Helsing, Amsterdam. 6th of September. Terrible change for the worse. Come at once. Do not lose an hour. I hold over telegram to homeward till have seen you. Better, better, worse. That's the end of the chapter, by the way. Mood. I'm getting better, I'm getting better, I'm getting worse. I'm down, I'm doom spiraling. No, Lucy, you should have stayed off Twitter. No, Lucy, you should have stayed off Twitter. No, Lucy, you should have watched the news. Lucy, you shouldn't have watched the news. She doomskull just a bit too. Doomskull too much and you become a vampire. That's just it. Oh, me last night after accidental news. I'm doing better, I'm doing better, I'm doing worse, I'm doing worse. It's very interesting to see the original Van Helsing. And that he's this old man doctor. And he's not like... I think he's always been portrayed as like, an older man. So I was like kind of expecting like a man past, you know, 40. Bit goofier than expected him. Yeah, he's a bit of a character. I'm kind of getting the vibe that, I'm getting kind of the vibes that, there might have been, like, some, like, because, like, most interpretations seem to, like, be, like, mashing, characters together, or, tend to not be, like, fully, like you mostly see Dracula by himself, or, not with the full cast. So like it's totally understandable. And now that we read through the Demeter part, I can see why there was an entire horror movie based on the voyage of the Demeter. Cause oh my god, that's kind of that entire part, like, because it was just so loose, you can turn that into a movie, and I can see why they did it. It's really fun to read these original novels and see how they've been interpreted over the years. Because, like, if you look at, like, if I'm, like, bringing up Helsing Ultimate, Integra Van Helsing. Like, again, she's not the original Van Helsing, but you can see a little bit of that funness. But Helsing Ultimate is just campy in general. Helsing Ultimate is very campy and cunty in general because the original artist of the manga, and I think he did have some say on the anime, was originally a hentai artist. So, like, there's just a lot of sexiness in general that does leak through. But that kind of, like, this can't be, like, over-the-top sexiness kind of works in, Helsing Ultimate's favor. Because that's just like a more modern translation of like the cold like neck kissing and the bites of old Dracula, you know? And I'm very interested to see, like, again, the main reason why I'm reading Dracula is because I'm very interested in the Draculesque visual novel that's coming out. So, which has Renfield as the protagonist. So I'm very interested to see how this, like, how this will be interpreted. But we got 20 more minutes till our next ad break. I'm going to go take a look and see how long this particular chapter is. Okay, yeah, we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here until... Oh no, wait, this one seems a little bit shorter than normal. Okay. His equivalent is played by Willem Dafoe in the newest Nosferatu movie. Nice. Okay, but we're on chapter 10. Letter, Dr. Seward to Honorable Arthur Holmwood. 6th of September. My dear Art. My news today is not so good. Lucy this morning had gone back a bit. There is, however, one good thing which has arisen from it. Mrs. Westerner is naturally anxious concerning Lucy. Has consulted me professionally about her. Took advantage of the opportunity and told her that my old master, Van Helsing, the great specialist, was coming to stay with me, and that I would put her in charge conjointly with myself. That I would put her in his charge conjointly with myself. So now we can come and go without alarming her unduly. For a shock to her would mean sudden death. In this case, in Lucy's weak condition, might be disastrous to her. We are hedged with difficulties, all of us, my poor old fellow, but please God, we shall come through them all right. If any need, I shall write, so that if you do not hear from me, take it for granted I'm simply waiting for news. In haste, yours ever, John Seward. Dr. Seward's diary, 7th of September. The first thing Van Helsing said to me when we met at the Liverpool Street was, "Have you said anything to our young friend, the lover of her?" "No," I said. "I waited till I had seen you, as I said in my telegram. I wrote him a letter simply telling him that you were coming, as Miss Westerner is not so well. And I should let him know if need be." "Right, my friend," he said. "Quite right. Better he not know yet as of yet. Perhaps he shall never know. I pray so. But if it needed, then he shall know all. And my good friend John, let me caution you. You deal with the madmen. All men are mad in some way or the other. And inasmuch you deal discreetly with your madmen, so deal with God's madmen too, the rest of the world. You tell not your madman what you do nor why you do it. You tell them not what you think, so you shall keep knowledge in its place, where it may rest, where it may gather its kind around it and breed. You and I shall keep, as yet, what we know here and here." He touched me on the heart and on the forehead, and touched himself in the same way. "I have for myself thoughts at the present. Later I shall unfold to you." "Why not now?" I asked. "It may do some good. We may arrive at some decision." He stopped and looked at me and said, "My friend John, when the corn is grown, even before it has ripened, when the milk of the Mother Earth is in him, and the sunshine has not yet begun to paint him with his gold, the husbandman, he pull the ear and rub him between his rough hands, and blow away the green chaff, and say to you, 'Look, he's good corn. He will make good crop when the time comes.'" I did not see the application and told him so. For reply, he reached over and took my ear in his hand and pulled it playfully, as he used long ago to do at lectures, and said, "The good husbandman tell you so, then he knows, but not till then." But you do not find the good husbandman dig up his plant corn to see if he grow that for the children who play at husbandry, not for those who take it as of the work of their life. You see now, friend John, I have sown my corn, and nature has her work to do in making it sprout. If he sprout at all, there is some promise. I waited till the ears began to swell. He broke off, for evidently he saw that I understood, and then he went on, very gravely. You were always a careful student, and your casebook was ever more full than the rest. You were the only student then. You were only student then. Now you are master. I trust that good habit have not failed. Remember, my friend, that knowledge is stronger than memory, and we should not trust the weaker. Even if you have not kept up good practice, let me tell you that this case of our dear miss, one that may be, mind, I say may be, of such interest to us and others, that all may rest, not make him kick the beam, as your people say. Take then good note of it. Nothing too small, I counsel you. Put down in record your doubts and surmises. Hereafter, it may be of interest to see how you guess. We shall learn from failure, not from success. We need to start writing like this in daily, like writing emails. He was losing me in the corn. I'm not gonna lie. He was losing me in the corn. I was becoming a child of the corn. Please, sir, you're losing me. You're losing me in Nebraska. So you're losing me in Nebraska. Bring it back around. Bring it back around. Yeah, no wonder Van Helsing is seen as more serious in, like, most other things I've seen him in. Sir, you're talking a lot about corn. Sir, you're talking a lot about corn. And I described Lucy's symptoms, the same as before, but infinitely more marked. He looked very grave, but said nothing. He took with him in a bag which were many instruments and drugs, the ghastly paraphernalia of our beneficial trade, as he once called, in one of his lectures. Equipment of a professor of the healing craft. Could you say he's hornier? Punjail! Punjail! For thee. When we were shown in, Mrs. Westerner met us. She was alarmed, but not nearly so much as I expected to find her. Nature, in one of her beneficent moods, has ordained that even death has some antidote to its own terrors. Here, in a case where any shock may prove fatal, matters are so ordered that, from some cause or other, the thing's not personal. The terrible change in her daughter, to whom she is so attached, do not seem to reach her. It is something like the way Dame Nature gathers round a foreign body of an envelope of some insensitive tissue which can protect from evil, that which it would otherwise harm by contact. If this be an ordered selfishness, then we should pause before we condemn anyone for vice of egoism, for there may be deeper root for its causes than we have knowledge of. Or you could just say, a mother will get her shit together for her child. Like, if your child is sick, it don't matter if you're dying. Mistress Westerner is like, oh wait, Lucy's sick, hold on, I gotta get out of bed, I gotta get my shit together, hold on, Lucy's sick. Yeah, I'm dying, but my daughter's sick. Yeah, I have a heart condition, but my dear Lucy, however, the light of the light of everyone's lives. I hate to say this, Lucy is going to end up on a Dateline episode. Because just the way Lucy is described, Lucy lights up every single room she's in. Nobody hates her. She has besties. She's accomplished. She's fashionable. She's a Dateline victim. Like that, like the narrator goes, she had everything. Then she died. Lucy Westerna had everything. She was beautiful. She lit up a room. She had friends everywhere. She had men running after her. But then it was all changed when Dracula came after her. Hold on, wait. Adaptation of Dracula as a true crime documentary. I use my knowledge of this. Oh, hold on. Paragold, honestly, yeah. She lit up the room, mostly by dousing the room with gasoline and striking a match. You know, Lucy does give chaotic good vibes. Lucy does give some chaotic good vibes. Oh, wait, hold on, it was Margot Robbie who played Barbie and Harley Quinn, right? Margot Robbie would play a good Lucy. I use my knowledge of this phase of spiritual pathology. Lay down a rule that she should not be present with Lucy, or think of her illness more than was absolutely required. She assented readily, so readily that I saw again on the hand of nature fighting for life. Van Helsing and I were shown up to Lucy's room. If I was shocked when I saw her yesterday, I was horrified when I saw her today. She was ghastly, chalkily pale. That seemed to have gone even from her lips and gums. The bones of her face stood out prominently. Her breathing was painful to see or hear. Van Helsing's face grew set as marble. His eyebrows converged till they almost touched over his nose. Lucy lay motionless, and not seemed to have enough strength to speak. And so for a while we were all silent. Then Van Helsing beckoned to me, went gently out of the room. The instant I closed the door, he stepped quickly along the passage to the next door, which was open. Then he pulled me quickly in with him and closed the door. "My God," he said, "this is dreadful. There's no time to be lost. She will die for sheer want of blood to keep this heart's action as it should be. There must be transfusion of blood at once. Is it you or me?" "I am younger and stronger, Professor. It must be me." "Then get ready at once. I will bring up my bag. I am prepared." I went downstairs with him. As we were going there was a knock at the hall door. When we reached the hall, the maid had just opened the door, and Arthur was stepping quickly in. He rushed to me, saying in an eager whisper, "Jack, I was so anxious. I read between the lines of your letter, and have been in agony. The dad was better, so I ran down here to see for myself. Is not that gentleman Dr. Van Helsing? I am so thankful for you, sir, for coming." When first the professor's eye had lit upon him, he had been angry at his interruption at such time, but now, as he took in his stalwart proportions and recognized the strong young manhood which seemed to emanate from him, his eyes gleamed. "I'll pause," he said to him gravely as he held out his hand. "Sir, you have come in time. You are the lover of our dear miss. She is bad, very, very bad. Nay, my child, do not go like that." But he suddenly grew pale and sat down in a chair, almost fainting. "You are to help her. You can do more than any that live, and your courage is your best help. What can I do? Asked Arthur hoarsely. Tell me and I shall do it. My life is hers. I would give the last drop of blood in my body for her. Professor had a strongly humorous side, and I could tell from old knowledge. Detect a trace of its origin in his answer. My young sir, I do not ask so much as that, not the last. Imagine Dracula, but it's a K-drama. Oh my god. But no, I kind of like that. Anyone wondering about the whole, what about matching blood types and compatibility? Well, it's handwave. Congrats on living in the 21st century. Yeah, this is way before all that, I think. Wait, hold on. Yeah, my brain can't remember the exact time when blood type matching was, invented. What shall I do? There was a fire in his eyes, and his open nostril quivered with intent. Van Helsing slapped him on the shoulder. Come, he said. You are a man, and as a man we want. You are better than me, better than my friend John. Arthur looked bewildered. The professor went on by explaining in a kindly way. Young miss is bad, very bad. She wants blood, and blood she must have or die. My friend John and I have consulted, and we are about to perform what we call transfusions of blood. Transfer from the full veins of one to the empty veins which pine for him. John was about to give his blood, as he is more young and strong than me. Arthur took my hand and wrung it in hard silence. But now you are here, and you are more good than us, young or old or young, who toil much in the world of thought. Our nerves are not so calm, and our blood not so bright than yours. Arthur turned to him and said, If you only knew how gladly I would die for her, you would understand. He stopped with a sort of choke in his voice. Good boy, said Van Helsing. In the not so far off, you will be happy that you will have done all for her you love. Come now and be silent. You shall kiss her once before it is done. But then you must go. You must leave at my sign. Say no word to Madame. Know how it is with her. There must be no shock. Any knowledge of this would be one. Come. They all went up to Lucy's room. Arthur, by direction, remained outside. Lucy turned her head and looked at us, but said nothing. She was not asleep, but she was simply too weak to make that effort. Her eyes spoke to us, that was all. Van Helsing took some things from his bag and laid them on a little table outside. Then he mixed a narcotic, and coming over to the bed, said cheerily, Now, little miss, here's your medicine. Drink it off like a good child. See, I left you so that to swallow it is easy, yes. She made the effort with success. It astonished me how long the drug took to act. This, in fact, marked the extent of her weakness. The time seemed endless until sleep began to flicker in her eyelids. At last, however, the narcotic began to manifest its potency. She fell into a deep sleep. When the professor was satisfied, he called Arthur into the room and bade him strip off his coat. Then he added, You may take that one little kiss while I bring over the table. Friend John, help to me. So neither of us looked while he bent over to her. Van Helsing, turning to me, said, He is so young and strong and of blood so pure, you need not defibrinate it. Then, with swiftness, but with absolute method, Van Helsing performed the operation. As the transfusion went on, something like life seemed to come back to poor Lucy's cheeks. Through Arthur's growing pallor, the joy of his face seemed absolutely to shine. After a bit, I began to grow anxious, for the loss of blood was telling on Arthur, strong a man as he was. It gave me an idea of what a terrible strain Lucy's system must have undergone, that what weakened Arthur only partially restored her. But the professor's face was set. He stood watch in hand, and with his eyes fixed now on the patient and now on Arthur. To hear my own heartbeat. Presently he said in a soft voice, Do not stir an instant. It is enough. You attend to him. I will look to her. When all was over, I could see how much Arthur was weakened. I dressed the wound and took his arm to bring him away, and Van Helsing spoke without turning around. The man seems to have eyes in the back of his head. The brave lover, I think, deserves another kiss, which he shall have presently. As he had now finished his operations, he adjusted the pillow to the patient's head. As he did so, the narrow black velvet band, which she seems to always wear around her throat, buckled with an old diamond buckle which her lover had given her, dragged a little up, and showed a red mark on her throat. Arthur did not notice it, but I could hear the deep hiss of indrawn breath, which is one of Van Helsing's ways of betraying emotion. He said nothing in the moment, but turned to me, saying, "Now take down our brave young lover. Give him much of the port wine. Let him lie down a while. He must then go home and rest, sleep much and eat much. Then he may be recruited of what he has so given to his love. He must not stay here. Hold a moment. I take it, sir, that you are anxious of result. Then bring it with you that in all ways the operation is successful. You have saved her life this time, and go home and rest easy in mind. That all that can be is. I shall tell her all when she is well. She shall love you none the less for what you have done. Goodbye." When Arthur had gone and I went back to the room, Lucy was sleeping gently, but her breathing was stronger. I see the counterpane move as her breast heaved. By the bedside sat Van Helsing, looking at her intently. The velvet band again covered the red mark. He asked the professor in a whisper, "What do you make of that mark on her throat?" "What do you make of it?" "I have not examined it yet," I answered, and then and there proceeded to loose the band. Just over the external jugular vein there were 2 punctures, not large, but not wholesome looking. There were no sign of disease, but the edges were white and worn looking, as if by some trituration. It at once occurred to me that this wound, whatever it was, might be the means that manifest loss of blood. I abandoned the idea as soon as foreign, for such a thing could not be. The whole bed would have been drenched to scarlet with blood which the girl must have lost to leave such a pallor as she had before the transfusion. Night-night, go look with literature. Thank you, Kaylin. Good night. May you get better soon. If you're still sick, that is. Night-night. Rest up, rest up. Also, everyone. Please go follow one of our favorite artists ever. Creator of the model, which I shall have rigged soon. Oh no, the fog shop. You can go get Cult of the Lamb models now. Well, you can go get Cult of the Lamb models tomorrow, I mean. Please go, please go. Well, said Van Helsing. Well, I said, I can make nothing of it. The professor said, I must go back to Amsterdam tonight. There are books and things there which I want. You must remain here all night. You must not let your sight pass from her. Shall I have a nurse? I asked. We are the best nurses, you and I. You keep watch all night. See that she is well fed, that nothing disturbs her. You must not sleep all the night. Later on, we can sleep, you and I. I shall be back as soon as possible, and then we may begin. May begin, I said. What on earth do you mean? We shall see, he answered as he hurried out. He came back a moment later and put his head inside the door and said with a warning finger held up, Remember, she's your charge. If you leave her, and harm befall her, you shall not sleep easy hereafter. Okay, we have ads in 40 seconds. And we have half the chapter left before 11, so I think we can, I think we will we will finish up this chapter, and then we will go... We shall go bother someone. I was late in my bra. Something really exit dialogue. Good night. The bra? Are your breasts heaving upon the counterbrain? But good night, RX. Sleep well, dream well. I hope tomorrow is very easy for you. Good night. Okay, we have ants. We have ants. Here's brain, but I fizzled. The breasts are heaving upon the counterpane of your brain. Come on, ants. I need drinkies. I need a drink. I need drink. Okay. Checking massages. Okay, there's the ads. Okay, let me go get drink. PRB. I have myself tea and a cookie. Sorry, some of those were sounds of eating. Sorry if you heard that. Oh wait, I can return back to just chatting. How long is my man going for? You know, I have a suggested collab. There's a suggested collab category? No! 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 What do you mean suggested collabs, Twitch? I plan my shit. Twitch, stop making me try to use your knock system. It ain't happening. Welcome back from ads, everyone. Sorry you come back and immediately hear me complaining about Twitch. However, I am a Twitch streamer, so I get free reign. I have to deal with the system. I must deal with the system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Jazz hands. Okay, back from ads. I know that that's usually your knitting counter, but I just had to do it. Okay, I know who we're rating after we finish this chapter, so let's continue. "8th of September. I sat up all night with Lucy. The opiate itself worked off towards dusk, and she waked naturally. She looked a different being from what she had been before the operation. Her spirits were even good, and she was full of happy vivacity, but I could see evidences of the absolute prostration which she had undergone. I told Mrs. Westerner that Dr. Van Helsing had directed that I should sit up with her, she almost pooh-poohed the idea, pointing out her daughter's renewed strength and excellent spirits. I was firm, however, and made preparation for my long vigil. When her maid had prepared for her the night I came in, having in the meantime had supper and took a seat by the bedside. She did not in any way make objection, but looked at me gratefully whenever I caught her eye. After a long spell, she seemed sinking off to sleep. With an effort, seemed to pull herself together and shook it off. This was repeated several times with greater effort and shorter pauses as time moved on. Apparent that she did not want to sleep, so I tackled the subject at once. "You do not want to go to sleep?" "No, I am afraid." "Afraid to go to sleep? Why so? It is the boon we all crave for." Not if you were like me. If sleep was to you a presage of horror." "A presage of horror? What on earth do you mean?" "I don't know. Oh, I don't know. And that is what is so terrible. All this weakness comes to me in sleep, until I dread the very thought." "But my dear, you may sleep tonight. I'm here watching you. I can promise nothing will happen." I can trust you." I seized the opportunity and said, "I promise you that if I see any evidence of bad dreams, I will wake you at once." "You will? Oh, will you really? How good you are to me. Then I will sleep." Almost at the word, she gave a deep sigh of relief and sank back asleep. All night long I watched by her. She never stirred, but slept on in a deep, tranquil, life-giving, health-giving sleep. Her lips were slightly parted, and her breast rose and fell with the regularity of a pendulum. There was a smile on her face, and it was evident that no bad dreams had come to disturb her peace of mind. In the morning her maid came, and I left her in her care and took myself back home. But I was anxious about many things. I sent a short wire to Van Helsing and to Arthur, telling them the excellent result of the operation. My own work, with its manifold arrears, took me all day to clear off. It was dark when I was able to inquire about my zoophagous patient. The report was good. He had been quite quiet for the past day and night. A telegram came from Van Helsing at Amsterdam whilst I was at dinner, suggesting I should be at Hillingham tonight, as it might be well to be at hand, and saying he was leaving by night mail, and would join me early in the morning. "9th of September. I was pretty tired and worn out when I got to Hillingham. For 2 nights I had hardly a wink of sleep. My brain was beginning to feel that numbness which marks cerebral exhaustion. Lucy was up in cheerful spirits. When she shook hands with me, she looked sharply in my face and said, "No sitting up tonight for you. You're worn out, and I'm quite well again. Indeed I am. And if there's to be any staying up, it is I who will sit up with you. I would not argue the point, but went and had my supper. Lucy came with me, and enlivened by her charming presence, I made an excellent meal, and a couple of glasses of more than excellent port. Then Lucy took me upstairs and showed me a room next to her own. A cozy fire was burning. Now, she said, you must stay in here. I shall leave this door open and my door too. You can lie on the sofa. For all I know, nothing would induce any of you doctors to go to bed whilst there is a patient above at the horizon. If I want anything, I shall call out. You can come to me at once. I could not but acquiesce, for I was dog-tired. Could not have sat up if I had tried. So on her renewing promise to call me if she would want anything, I lay on the sofa and forgot all about everything. Lucy Osterner's Diary, 9th of September. I feel so happy tonight. I've been so miserably weak, and that to be able to think and move about is like feeling sunshine after a long spell of east wind out of a steel sky. Somehow Arthur feels very, very close to me. I seem to feel his presence warm about me. I suppose it is that sickness and weakness are selfish things that turn our inner eyes and sympathy on ourselves, whilst health and strength give love reign. And in thought and feeling he can wander where he wills. I know where my thoughts are. If Arthur only knew, my dear, your ears must tingle as you sleep, as mine do waking. Oh, the blissful rest of last night. Now I slept with that dear good Miss Dr. Seward watching me. Tonight I shall not fear to sleep, since he is close at hand and within call. Thank everybody for being so good to me. Thank God. Good night, Arthur. Doctors? Okay, but I don't think this is a vampire power that's been talked about. Feeling someone's presence through blood. I don't think I've ever read that or heard of that. Dr. Seward's Diary, 10th of September. I was conscious of the professor's hand on my head and started to wake all in a second. That's one of the things we learn in an asylum at any rate. And how was our patient? Well, when I left her, or rather when she left me, I answered. Come, let us see. And together we went into the room. The blind was down, and I went over to raise it gently, whilst Van Helsing stepped, his soft cat-like tread, over to the bed. As I raised the blind, and the morning sunlight flooded the room, I heard the professor's low hiss of inspiration. And knowing its rarity, a deadly fear shot through my heart. As I passed over, he moved back, and his exclamation of horror, Gottenheimer, needed no reinforcement from his agonized face. He raised his hand and pointed to the bed, and his iron face was drawn and ashen white. I felt my knees begin to tremble. There on the bed, seemingly in a swoon, lay poor Lucy, more horribly white and wan-looking than ever. Even the lips were white, and the gums seemed to have shrunken back from the teeth, as we sometimes see in a corpse after a prolonged illness. Van Helsing raised his foot to stamp in anger, but the instinct of his life and all long years of habit stood to him. Put it down again softly. Quick, he said. Bring the brandy. I flew to the dining room and returned with the decanter. He wet the poor white lips with it. Together we rubbed palm and wrist and heart. He felt her heart, and after a few minutes of agonizing suspense, said, It is not too late. It beats, though but feebly. All our work is undone. We must begin again. There is no young Arthur here now. I have to call on you yourself this time, friend John. As he spoke, he was dipping into his bag and producing the instruments for transfusion. I had taken off my coat and rolled up my shirt sleeve. There's no possibility of an opiate just at present. No need of one. And so, without a moment's delay, we began the operation. After a time, not seem a short time either, for the draining away of one's blood, no matter how willing it be given, is a terrible feeling. Van Helsing held up a warning finger. Do not stir, he said. But I fear that with growing strength she may wake. That would make danger, oh so much danger. but I shall precaution take. I shall give hypodermic injection of morphia. Proceeded then, swiftly and deftly, to carry out his intent. The effect on Lucy was not bad, but the faint seeming to merge slowly into the narcotic sleep. With a feeling of personal pride that I could see a faint tinge of color steal back into the pallid cheek and lips. No man knows till he experiences it what it is to feel his own lifeblood drawn away into the veins of the woman he loves. Professor watched me critically. That will do, he said. Already? I remonstrated. You took a great deal more from Art. To which he smiled a sad sort of smile as he replied, he is her lover, her fiancé. You have work. Much work to do for her and others, and the present will suffice. When we stopped the operation, he attended to Lucy, whilst I applied digital pressure to my own incision. Lay down whilst I waited his leisure to attend to me. I felt faint for a little and sick. By and by, he bound up my room and sent me downstairs to get a glass of wine for myself. As I was leaving the room, he came out to me and half whispered, Mind, nothing must be said of this. If our young lover should turn up unexpected as before, no word to him. Be at once frighten him and jealous him too. There must be none, though. When I came back, he looked at me carefully, then said, You are not much the worse. Go into the room, lie on your sofa, and rest a while. Then have breakfast and come here to me. I followed out his orders, for I knew how right and wise they were. I'd done my part. Now my next duty was to keep up my strength. I felt very weak, and in the weakness lost something of the amazement at what had occurred. I fell asleep on the sofa, however, wondering over and over again how Lucy had made such a retrograde movement, how she could have been drained of so much blood with no sign of anyone to show for it. I think I must have continued my wonder in my dream, for sleeping and waking, my thoughts always came back to the little punctures in her throat, and the ragged, exhausted appearance of their edges, tiny though they were. Lucy slept well into the day. When she woke, she was fairly well and strong, though not nearly so much as the day before. When Van Helsing had seen her, he went out for a walk, leaving me in charge with strict injunctions. I was not to leave her for a moment. I could hear his voice in the hall, asking the way to the nearest telegraph office. Lucy chatted with me freely and seemed quite unconscious that anything had happened. I tried to keep her amused and interested. When my mother came up to see her, she did not seem to notice any change whatever, and said to me gratefully, We owe you so much, Dr. Seward, for all you have done. But really, you must now take care not to overwork yourself. You are looking pale yourself. You want a wife to nurse and look after you a bit, that you do. As she spoke, Lucy turned crimson, though it was only momentarily, for her poor wasted veins cannot stand for long such an unwanted drain to the head. Her action came in excessive pallor as she turned imploring eyes on me. I smiled and nodded and laid my finger on my lips. This sigh, she sank back amid her pillows. Van Helsing returned in a couple hours and presently said to me, Now you go home and eat much and drink enough. And yourself strong. Make yourself strong. I stay here tonight. I shall sit up with the little miss myself. You and I must watch the case, and we must have none other to know. I have grave reasons. No, do not ask them. Think what you will. Do not fear to think even the most not probable. Good night. In the hall, two of the maids came to me and asked if they or either of them might not sit up with Miss Lucy. They implored me to let them. When I said it was Dr. Van Helsing's wish that either he or I should sit up, they asked me quite piteously to intercede with the foreign gentlemen. I was much touched by their kindness. Perhaps it is because I am weak at present. Perhaps because it is on Lucy's account that their devotion was manifested. For over and over again I have seen similar instances of women's kindness. Got back here in time for a late dinner, went my rounds. All well, and set this down whilst waiting for sleep. It is coming.
What in Dracula? He's keeping her alive. I need Lucy to live. Mostly because I want more drama. I need more boyfriends. I need more boyfriends.
11th of September. This afternoon I went over to Hillingham. Found Von Helsing in excellent spirits, and Lucy much better. Shortly after I have arrived, a big parcel from a bar came for the professor. He opened it with much impressment, assumed of course, and showed a great bundle of white flowers. "These are for you, Miss Lucy," he said. "For me? Oh, Dr. Van Helsing." "Yes, my dear, but not for you to play with. These are medicines." Here Lucy made a wry face. "Nay, but they are not to take in a decoction or nauseous form. You need not snub that so charming nose. I shall point out to my friend Arthur what woes he may have to endure in seeing so much beauty that he loves and so much distort. My pray, miss, that brings the nice nose all straight again. This is medicinal, but you do not know how. I shall put him in your window. I make a pretty wreath, hang him around your neck, so that you sleep well. Oh yes, like the lotus flower, make your troubles forgotten. It smells so much like the waters of the Lethe, the fountain of the youth that the conquistadors sought for in the Floridas, and find him all too late. Ah yes, I forgot, the fountain of youth was in Florida. I would like to forget that Florida is supposed to be mythical. I would like to forget that the Florida was supposed to have things. Whilst he was speaking, Lucy had been examining the flowers and smelling them. Now she threw them down, saying with half laughter, half disgust, "Oh, Professor, I believe you are only playing up a joke on me. Why, these flowers are only common garlic." To my surprise, Van Helsing rose up and said with all his sternness, his iron jaw set and his bushy eyebrows meeting, "No trifling with me, I never jest. There is a grim purpose in all I do. I warn you that you do not thwart me. Take care for the sake of others, if not for your own." Then, seeing poor Lucy scared, as she might well be, he went on more gently. "Oh, little miss, my dear, do not fear me. Only for your own good. I only do for your good. There's much virtue to you in those so-called flowers. See, I place them myself in your room. Make myself the wreath that you are to wear. Hush, no telling the others that make so inquisitive questions. You must obey, and silence is a part of obedience. Obedience is to bring you strong and well into the loving arms that wait for you. Now sit a while. Come with me, friend John. Shall help me deck the room with my garlic. It is all the way from Haarlem, where my friend Vanderpool raised herb in his glass houses all year. Had to telegraph yesterday, or they would not have been here. Even in this story, they're like, yeah, it's garlic. They didn't even take the garlic seriously in Dracula. We went to the ruin, taking the flowers with us. The professor's actions were certainly odd and not found in any pharmacopoeia that I ever heard of. First he fastened up the windows and latched them securely. Next, taking a handful of the flowers, he rubbed them all over the sashes, so to ensure every whiff of air might get in by be laden with the garlic smell. Then with the wisp, he rubbed all over the jamb of the door, above and below and at each side, around the fireplace in the same way. It all seemed grotesque to me, and presently I said, "Well, Professor, I know you always have a reason for what you do, but this certainly puzzles me. It is well that we have no skeptic here, It is well that we have no skeptic here. I would say that you were working some spell to keep out an evil spirit." "Perhaps I am," he answered quietly as he began to make the wreath which Lucy was to wear around her neck. We then waited whilst Lucy made her toilet for the night. When she was in bed, he came and himself placed the wreath of garlic around her neck. The last words he said to her were, "Take care you do not disturb it." Even if the room feel closed, not open the window or the door. I promise, said Lucy. I thank you both 1,000 times for all your kindness to me. Oh, what I have done to be blessed with such friends. As we left the house in my fly, which was waiting, Van Helsing said, Tonight I can sleep in peace, and sleep I want. 2 nights of travel, much reading in the day between, much anxiety on the day to follow, and a night to sit up without to wink. Tomorrow in the morning early you call for me, and we come together to see our pretty miss. So much more strong for my spell, which I have work. He seemed so confident that I, remembering my own confidence 2 nights before, the painful result, felt awe and vague terror. Must have been my weakness that made me hesitate to tell it to my friend. Felt it all the same, like unshed tears. Okay, let me just mark where we will be next Sunday. I kind of like how they mentioned it was garlic and garlic flowers, because that definitely feels like very witchy. Where am I at? Where's my civilian Discord? There it is. I'm actually already on it. Okay. That's actually kind of really nice. I'm kind of really liking this. However, because I know a lot about Dracula already, it kind of feels like some of the horror is lost on me. It kind of feels like we're more or less fawning over Lucy. This feels like Ill Girl, the visual novel. Ill Girl, the novel, only that the illness is vampirism. No, I guess it's more of this is building up horror. And like the thing is I have a horror immunity, and like not only that, I am also inflicting y'all with my immunity to horror by being so silly. I'm inducing my immunity upon all of you as well. Okay, so Dracula, just a silly little guy. He's just a little guy. I am loving it though. I'm kind of like describing an unknown illness is definitely horrific. But again, I kind of feel like a lot of this is lost because you know what's happening. I feel like because Frankenstein is so much more lost in adaptation. I feel like Frankenstein was so much more lost. I was kind of like, there was kind of like much more to learn. But I kind of feel like some of this is being lost. I have time for my shower. What shenanigans have I missed? Lucy has a super vampire cancer. No, not really. Lucy has vampirism, and it's like getting worse, but every time she drinks the blood, it's getting better. And vampirism seems to come with the power of feeling the aura of those who have drunk flum. Those you have drunk flum. Which seems to not be a power I have heard that comes from Dracula. However, Lucy did not say she like could sense her husband. She cannot sense Arthur. Like she can be like, there's that man. There's my husband. 50 miles west. It seems like she more felt him. Because Arthur gave his blood. But we have finished our second chapter of the night, which means I am going to raid out. Oh my god, finally 2 chapters that have not taken 3 hours. And, who is on? Who is on? We actually have... Wait, I've already rated Pally, I think, recently. He was talking on his trip to Tokyo. Yeah, we may just end it. Feel the love within her veins, kinky. She wrote it off as, I can feel my love within my veins, not realizing she was being literal. It's like, girl, you don't know the half of it. I'm kind of liking getting more of the entire vampirism, though. It kind of feels like, you know... It's almost halfway... Not even halfway, I kind of almost want to say it's like a romance novel. Because everything's like kind of like focused around these pairings, like Jonathan and Mina, and Lucy and Arthur, and Lucy and her cadre of wannabe fiancés. We're probably gonna have her other wannabe boyfriend come back in soon. And then we have Renfield, who's just fucking thirsty to be a Dracula servant. We have fucking Renfield who just needs to be dicked down by a vampire. It's kind of like everything's surrounding couples. So it kind of feels like, you know, we twisted a romance novel. Multiple boyfriends? Is this a Scott Pilgrim situation with vampires? Ah, yes. Imagine if Dracula is just, you gotta fight all of Lucy's ex-boyfriends. Just change Dracula around to Lucy Westerna and all of her ex-boyfriends. In order to get to me, you must defeat my 7 exes. In order to marry me, you must defeat my 7 exes. That'd be kind of... Man, I'm having a lot of game ideas tonight. Oh, I think there's already a Scott Pilgrim video game that kind of touches that. I think there's always a Scott Pilgrim game that kind of hits that does the Ramona, you gotta defeat Ramona's boyfriends and that one ex-girlfriend lot, though I'm not sure. I've never watched. I think I watched Scott. I think I've like either read or watched like a little bit of Scott Pilgrim. I've mostly seen more porn though. I've mostly seen more gay porn than actually interacting with Scott Pilgrim in general. I see more porn than actually interacting with the actual pieces of media. But I'm kind of digging Lucy as a character. She's just kind of like this poor... I don't want to be like she's a victim, but yeah, she's a victim of Dracula, but she's also kind of like, you know, I'm surviving. I'm thriving. I'm doing my best here. Well, girl, it's not even literally your fault. I estimate with FF7 remakes, Cloud and just does things to people. I'm just suffering from nightmares. It's nothing. Girl, you are dying, and you're just being like, oh, it's nothing. Valid. Valid. Mood felt. I'm just suffering from dying. I'm just suffering from dying. It's nothing though. I just want to have girls just want to have fun. That just made me laugh, honestly. I don't want to be like there's guys who cannot like look like girls. Cloud really does not look like a girl. It's really hard to believe in either universe. In Lego universe or remake universe that Cloud is passable as a girl. I mean, like, maybe now that more muscular women are being more at the forefront of media. Find the right fan artist. I can see some good fanboy Cloud art. Yeah, that's the main thing, is that Cloud does not have a femboy body. So, like, I mean, like, in any of his iterations, he does not have a femboy body. So I'm like, Don Corneo, are you blind? Don Corneo, are you blind? like Cloud doesn't even have that great of a girl voice. I don't think he even tries. Don is not blind. He is just horny. To be fair, to go into many straight men's minds that I know, or at least many femme enjoying, because I think I know some guys who would fuck a femboy but still categorize themselves as straight. I know very many straight men who would not mind being dicked down by a woman. Probably the one thing that threw me off was that he magically lost the makeup and nail polish once swapping back to regular clothes. I mean, losing makeup and nail polish takes minutes, not seconds. See, it's materia. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's materia. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's materia. That's my excuse. That's how I think of it. He had like a materia for like cleaning himself, like prestidigitation materia. Just would have it entertain me if he went through the entire next engine with the makeup and nail polish still. What I am loving is that for PC, people are porting the Ever Crisis outfits onto people are pouring the outfits from Ever Crisis into the remake. And so everyone is seeing. I think there might be a Sephiroth with Kyuja's outfit. I'm not 100% sure. The modding community strikes again. Yeah, and there was that really slutty Bahamut outfit for Cloud. It's like when they gave Leon a tramp stamp. To be fair, Leon's a twink. Or twunk. I think Leon is, like, qualifies as twunk. Like, he's not all the way at... He's kind of between twink and twunk. Because, like, he still has, like, a very thin body, but it's very muscular. Like Leon is kind of smaller than a lot of the men in Resident Evil 4. Like, if you look at Resident Evil 4, most of the men are kind of on that football build. Like, there's Wesker, there's, Carlos, there's... Like a good majority of... There's Chris. Chris is also very, very, very muscular. Meanwhile, Leon over there is kind of like very small. Leon's kind of small for a Resident Evil male, you know? Crispy. Crispy. I think he got even bigger in like which one is it? Village? Yeah, Chris was very large in Village. And here's the thing, Leon is still small in the Resident Evil 4 remake. Leon is still small in the Resident Evil 4 remake. So like, I'm pretty sure Leon qualifies nearly as Twink. Yeah. Like to all the other men in Resident Evil 4, yeah, all the other men in Resident Evil, he's a twink. He's a twink to normal people, though. Like, Ethan is also small, but, Ethan kind of doesn't have that, Ethan is a scrunglo. Ethan kind of qualifies as scrunglo. He's normal, he's scrungly, he's skrunkly, he needs therapy. But he doesn't really qualify as a twink. Yeah, he does not have twink energy. Sorry, Ethan. You cannot be qualified as twink. Also, he has so much, my wife energy. He has so much my wife energy. I'm not saying twinks can't be, like, my wife, but the my wife energy is on such a scale it is interfering with twink classification, even if he could be classified as twink. Like, I kind of feel like Ethan would have a little bit of a belly, not gonna lie. Like, Ethan doesn't even need that much of a body. He's 100% mushroom at the end of the first game he's in. My guy is 100% fungus. My guy is like 100% fungus. He can't even qualify as a twink. He's classified as mold. What can I say? He's just a fungi. Ethan has a, yeah. I can imagine Ethan like with like a little bit of chubbiness on the belly. Like, imagine like Ethan would carry most of his weight on his stomach. Ethan got that kind of dad / satyr build. Not like hot satyr build, but much more classic Roman feast satyr. I'm not saying you can't eat a lot and not have a great body, but I'm thinking more of the chunky satyrs, which are also kind of cute. But yeah, Leon twink, Ethan fungus, the rest of them Bara men. The rest of the Resident Evil 4 men are just Bara characters. I need to draw some of my characters again. Like, if I can ever manage to draw a Jack in a form, like it's a bunch of people thirsting over him that I did something right. I would suggest, there's a video that Viveros did on objectifying men that might help with decide. Would you like to know how to objectify men? Thank you, Viveros, by the way, for giving us instructions. Let me actually link that. Please tell me I have autoplay off. Oh, he doesn't have any, like... Thank God. Where it says objectifying men? Oh, how and why to sexualize main characters. Jack's supposed to be beautiful. I can see him and he's beautiful in my mind. But I have trouble translating it to paper. Understandable, yeah. And here is Vivos' video on how and why to sexualize male characters. I think he actually talks a lot about VTuber designs as well. I think he goes over multiple types of, I don't remember if he goes over femboys. I think he at least has like a few. I think he's talked about a few femboys in that video, but I do not 100% remember. But I suggest anyone go watch Vivos' stuff. Pretty good drawing video essay content. Pretty good the TV watches you content, if you know what I mean. But do I want to rate out, or do I just want to leave you guys to like chill? Do I want to rate out, or do I... Actually, you guys can choose whether or not you want to chill or watch more streams, so, I can still wait out. Okay, we have Glottal. I've already rated Mira, and looks like Paladin stopped. Yeah, let's go watch Glottal. Seems to be watching Comfy Cozy, who seems to be playing... Not sure if they're at the end of a game or not. It's hard to tell. Oh no way. Edward's playing Pokemon Coliseum. Edward's playing Pokemon Coliseum. Hold up. Nope. 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 U-turning. 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 Glottal made my starting screen. Aw, man. I found a Blue Sky post about Leon's Dracula evolution. Aw, man. You know what? I will shout out Glottal, but we will raid Edward. Because Glottal is kind of super fuck... Hold on, wait. You know what? You guys can raid Glottal. You know what? I can do multiple things. Hold up. I am a person of capability. I'm a person of capabilities. Oh. Nah. I kinda... It's always hard. Vesper makes a U-turn so fast. I faceplant against the window. Send us wherever you want. Why do I have so many beautiful, wonderful people I watch? That is the question. Also, I don't know how I'm reaching the brakes. It's just me on the driver's seat with my wings. With my wings on the wheel. I don't know how I reach the brakes. Actually, it's just a brick on the accelerator. It's just a brick on the accelerator. You know, I thought of rating Glottal first, and I haven't rated Glottal or Edward, so it's... No, wait. Actually, no, I don't think I've rated Glottal. I've been in raids to Glottal. However, he's been going on for nearly 5 hours. Hell. You know what? Need to stop caring about how long someone's been raiding. need to actually put together a funky raid alert and then figure out how to make the raid alert to go off and make raid me more fun. Nice. Yeah, I have my raid alert set up, and I'm going to move it over to mix it up soonish, hopefully, maybe one day. So I don't have to keep on. Well, I know Glottal is live, copy-paste. I want to move everything over to mix-up so I can just be very self-reliant. But okay, let's go with Glottal, who's an amazing artist. Amazing streamer, plays a lot of RPGs from what I noticed. Made Silver Starting Soon screen. And I kind of want to get some art from them, because, like, Silver Starting Soon screen, if you have not seen it, is this very Yoshitaka Amano-styled thing. It's very Yoshitaka Amano-styled art. And, I really, really like it. And I love myself some Yoshitaka Amano stuff. So, like, maybe I'll get something from Glottal just, like, for funsies. Cause, oh my god, Yoshitaka Amano. I could eat that shit up. But, good night, good fortune. Thank y'all for staying with me tonight. It was nice having y'all. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow with probably more Hollow Knight, maybe. But then I'll be busy on Tuesday. So, Monday, Wednesday, probably. Good night, good fortune. See you when I see you. Bye.